So I was keeping all my fishing rods in the front drop-down bed and then pushing it back. But the ones with the really small tips, one of the tips got broken off, and that was a very expensive rod. Luckily, it came with a free one-time, no questions asked exchange. That's Powell Rod Company. They make some awesome stuff. So I just got my replacement, and I'm not going to take a chance of having the jaws of that bed chew this up again. So I put this rod holder up here on the top. I'm going to have to put something else, some other sort of a strap to secure it and make sure that it stays where it's supposed to be. But let's come up here a little bit. It might have also been the cats that got it. It either got pinched between here because of this bed. Gosh dang. This bed, as I said, it drops down. So I can store a few things up here. I'll probably still keep my metal detector up here because my metal detector has a nice bag over it. This vacuum cleaner I got helps, but it's not getting everything. This normally has this kind of material, but as you can see, I went over that with the vacuum for like 20 minutes and it didn't take it off. And this is a good vacuum, so I thought. It took a lot off. There was even more on that, just on these two corners. Those corners were the outer corners, so when this thing was shut, it was the two places that the cats were able to get to. They can't really get in here. That's just too narrow. So I didn't realize the bottom side of this is this vinyl. So we're going to flip this. We're going to do the same with the one in the back where the actual cat area is. That one's always down. Yeah, so I don't know. I just thought I'd add this to the video. What I'll probably do is I'll probably get in there with some of that sticky tape and use that to remove the rest of the hair. Maybe take it outside and brush it or something. The back I'm going to have to do even worse, but now that I know I have a vinyl side, they'll scratch it up. I don't care. I can spray this. I can, wipe it, bleach it, mop it, whatever. It's a lot easier to deal with than fabric. And this is kind of how the front area is going to look after I've got everything put together. I'll have my water storage containers here. As you can imagine, I have to carry an enormous amount of water with me unless I want to keep spending gas to go to town every 4 or 5 days. I like to stay put in one place for 2 weeks if possible. I don't know how well that shows up on the video, but it was January of 1982 when they did the upholstery work on the seat that I removed. I still think the entire thing was taken down to Mexico and reupholstered. I have no idea what the FR stands for. That looks like it says 2013, but it doesn't. It says 2513. Whoa. But the very clear one says January 19th, 1982. Okay, so don't do this at home. We heated this up on a stove until it's red hot so that we can melt it through the different layers of this. Oh, let's hope we can do it in one shot. Nope. Getting it nice and red hot on the stove. Okay, yeah, so I've got the dogs out. All the windows are opened. The vent fan is on. And we are going to get this to go through each layer of the plastic until it comes out the other side. Whew. Those fumes are super toxic. That's why I said don't ever do this. Just because I did it, but you know, I'm dying anyway eventually, so what do I care? This will prevent, I've got my vent fans on and all my windows, and my door I'm trying to keep open. It keeps shutting itself. Anyways, this will keep these from coming out. I'll probably use a shorter bar eventually, but there was a layer of plastic in each of these and I had to push through it. It was kind of hard to get a drill in there, so I just heated the thing on the stove and forced it through. Okay, so we've taken the seat out, trying to make a little more space. We've still got a bunch of junk on this seat for now. We're going to put a lot more things down here where Boo Boo's at. Come on, man. I just cleaned all the hair out of there. A bunch more junk piled here. I'll probably never be able to do an entire video of my whole house without junk hiding half of it. It's just how it goes. I live in here. I have too many things. Maybe I'll get a storage trailer someday. I've been pulling as much out as I can. Anything I don't need, I'm not taking with me anymore. But okay, so anyways, we pulled the seat out as far as this stump. There's 4 bolts under this stump. I believe they're not just screwed in. I got cut off there because I got a call in the middle of the video, which frustrates me way more than it should. It's the only bad thing about taking video on my phone. So, okay, we got a new vacuum cleaner. It's picked up a lot of the hair, but if you look real closely, it's not getting all of it. The other one we had, the Shark, it was a lot more powerful, but it would overheat every 10 minutes of use. And the reviews on it were like 1 star, so I took it back. This has a 5-star rating. Said it's working okay, but it's not picking up all the hair. If the lighting was better in here, you would see there's still hair that it's just not picking up, and I've went over it several times. Eventually I'm going to have to rip this bottom carpet out up here in the cab. There's a stuff, it's like Rhino Liner, but it's made by another company. It's a little bit cheaper. I've looked into it. They say that it can be used on wood, so that's probably what I'll go with. Even a couple good coats of latex paint would probably at least wipe up and clean up well, you know, if it got wet on it. Anything that's slippery, I can just brush the hair off. It's not going to stick in like this, but with German short-haired dogs in particular, those hairs, they're like porcupine quills. They have little barbs on the end, and they're a bitch to get out. So, one of the nice features about this vacuum cleaner, you know, of course, it's got the bristles, which I needed. It's a Eureka, which is an okay brand, not you know, top of the line, but it's okay. This folds down. Instead of the bristles being on the bottom, they can also be forward, so that it can be used for cleaning walls. Meant for staircases, but in an RV where half of my wall is carpet, that's a nice feature to have, although it's a little awkward to get used to. Okay, so unless I can get somebody to get underneath and hold the bolts from turning on the bottom as I turn the bolts from the top, and put a cap over this of some sort to cover the hole in the carpet, this is going to have to stay. I don't like these sharp corners. My GoPed's going to go on this side on the floor. Some storage junk up here, maybe the big cage for the cats. I haven't decided. I'm thinking about taking one of these type boxes like this, cutting a hole in it, putting it over this, permanently mounting it there to cover the sharp corners. I could store a little more crap in it. I can use these to secure a seatbelt system for Sierra, so she can sit up here and look out the windows without being able to interfere with me. But here's the really strange thing, and I wished I had noticed this a couple weeks ago, because if I had, we might have been able to actually use the timing gun when we set the timing on this. We had to do it by ear because there was no way to get up to the front of the engine. But then I saw this motorhome. This is the regular doghouse where I pull up to access the majority of the engine. But this RV has a second doghouse. So this whole section here, all the way up to the very front where the radiator is, comes out. Now, I might have to pull these to get enough clearance to get it out. But that is good to know. That could save me a lot of trouble if I ever have to work on something like the water pump, or I don't know. This video is getting long pretty quick, but this is, the old owners put this on here. If you notice, it says the Valley of the Shadow, not the Valley of the Shadow of Death. I think that's a reference, an inside joke, if you will, talking about the Kern River Valley where we live here. Everybody calls it the Valley, and it's one of the reasons it's nice in the summer. It gets really hot in the day, but at least about 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening, the sun goes behind the mountains, and it gives us, you know, a little bit of a break from the heat until the sun actually sets. They put their names in here too. His name was also Jim. Well, I'm Jimmy, but he was Jim. The Snyders. I've never met him. I bought it from the person that they sold it to. But I thought that was really interesting. So anyways, this has been my project, trying to get as much crap out of here as I can. Do whatever you want in life, even if it means ripping out your passenger seat. And don't let anybody tell you you can't. I don't know. Same old, right?